welcome to another episode of the Globetrotter Challenge. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining. My name is Misty, and as you can see, Piper is just running around making some collections in the area. We are working really hard to collect the remaining plants that she needs so she can identify all of the plants in the area. She still needs to collect a little bit more so that she can identify these. We have recently had some plants that have begun to blossom in the area now that it has reached summertime. We have been waiting desperately for these plants to bloom, and they have finally done so. So she is gathering these up, and then we are going to try to get her to identify these plants. So she is just gathering these, harvesting them up, and we are making some progress here in this area. Thank goodness, it has been a long time coming. Piper is seriously homesick, seriously sick of this area, and Roman is feeling the same. But we have picked these plants, and hopefully she will be able to identify them if her herbalism skill is up high enough. We are going to obviously be working towards making sure that we can collect some things that we need in the area and over in the hermits area. So we're going to head over to the hermits area now so that we can see if there's anything over there that there's able to collect. And if there is, we will work on brewing some remedies up so that she can go ahead and work towards doing that. So we have made it into the forest now, and we're going to go ahead and send her over into the bush there so that she can climb through that briar patch and make it deep into the woods and go to the hermit area. So we will send Piper on through that briar patch over in the back of the forest here, and she can make her way into the deep part of the woods into the hermit's house. So we will enter and explore here and send her on through. So Piper's just going to run on through here and do a little bit of exploring. As we know, she has been through this area several times, so she is a seasoned pro now at getting herself to the hermit's house. As we know, they have made good friends, and so she feels like she doesn't have anything to worry about. She knows everything to expect in this area now. She's been here long enough that she's like, nothing out here scares me anymore. I know the way. So we are just going to enter and explore here. Surrounded by thicket, thorns, and danger, most assuredly Piper is left with only one decision: step forward or retreat. We are going to step forward. As Piper pushes through the foliage, intrepid with courage, a bubbling brook emerges. Should she stop to fish or keep walking? She's going to keep walking. She feels she is on the verge of finding something special, something to make this all worth it, but is quickly tiring. Should she sally forth? Yes. She is navigating the high-foiling foliage to discover a sacred cove in the midst of it with a mysterious sim. We're going to travel towards the sim. And we would like to go into the deep woods? Yes, we would. We have made it now to the hermit's house, and she is going to just look around and see if there's anything that needs to be harvested in the area. And as you can see, we have obviously been here before. This is no secret. We know what to expect while we are here. So she is just going to go ahead and harvest these mushrooms here in the area. There are some mushrooms here over by this log, so we'll get her to harvest them, and then we'll head over to the area by the hermit's house. And as we know, there are some plants around his house, and we will do some harvesting over there. I do know that there is that area that has like the garden and stuff, and we can do some harvesting in that area as well. But right now we just want to definitely look in this area and see if there's anything here that she can harvest. So we'll look in this area first. It doesn't look like anything has blossomed yet, so we do have to wait for these things to be ready to be harvested. But she's going to go ahead and run on over to the hermit's house and just go ahead and use his sink facilities, because as we know, she likes to use his facilities, and we're going to get her reading up some more on her herbalism books while she's here, because as we know, she does still need to get that herbalism skill up to a level 10 for her challenge as well. So we will get her reading and getting her herbalism skill up as much as she can. She's going to go ahead and attempt to identify the plants that she did pick while she was out and about in her area. And it looks like she has found out what elderberry is, so she knows what that is now, which is great. And I believe we have an unidentified flower here, so we're going to attempt to identify it as well. And so she's going to throw it in her mouth as well and try that. And it looks like she has figured out that that is chamomile. So she has identified 2 more of the plants that she has found in her inventory here, which is perfect. She's going to go ahead and just start up a campfire here and get, oh, I'm sorry, she's putting out the campfire and then she's going to put it back out. Why, Piper? You're going to put it out and then restart it? I don't know. But I'm going to get her going ahead and brewing up some of these potions here. We're going to get her to make some deodorizing cream. She needs to make 3 excellent herbal remedies, so we're going to go ahead and get her crafting some of these remedies. So she's going to start with the first one, which is the deodorizing cream. She has enough ingredients to make that, so we're going to go ahead and get her working on that right away. And then hopefully she can make one of the other remedies, and hopefully she'll be able to make them an excellent quality, and she doesn't run out of supplies needed to do those. It looks like she has marked that, and she has one of the 3, so that did work. She was able to make that an excellent quality. So she did that on her first try, which is fantastic news. And we will go ahead and get her to make something else now. She's just stopping for a little bit of cloud gazing. As we know, Piper is a Cancer and she likes to dream. So she does take time to stop and smell the roses and, in this case, cloud gaze. But I do want her to go ahead and put this in her inventory. It looks like it was impeccable quality, not just excellent quality, which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and get her to make this sadness alleviation lotion as well. And she can put that in her inventory when she's done with that. And hopefully we can get her to make a couple of those and she will go ahead and meet this challenge of crafting the 3 remedies that she needs. In the meantime, she's just going to have herself a quick marshmallow snack. Oh, she's burned her tongue. Yeah, that's a little hot, Piper. You have to cool it down just a little bit. Alright, so she's going to go ahead and finish up with these remedies here. As we know, they take a little bit of time for her to craft. So she's going to go ahead and get started on that. She has, as you can see, left Roman at the lodge this time. She didn't bring him out here. He gets a little bit frustrated when he comes out here and he doesn't have anything to do with himself. So she left him at the lodge so that he can tend to himself and play horseshoes and do whatever it is that he wants to do. Being out here and just watching and waiting for plants to grow is not fun for him. So she's like, it's fine. I'll come out here by myself. I'll wait for the plants. It's nothing that you have to deal with. And while she's out here, she figured she will go ahead and brew these remedies, read up on her books of herbalism, and she can just wait for, you know, time to pass by reading and things like that. So she didn't feel that it was necessary for Roman to come out here and be bored to tears. So we have marked off all 3 of those remedies that we needed of excellent quality, and we have that checked off. Now the only thing we lack is obviously continuing to get the rest of those plants that we need for this aspiration here and identifying those plants. So as soon as we get those, we'll be able to move on to our next stage of our challenge here, and we'll be able to move on within our goal of this challenge, which hopefully we will be able to do really soon because we are running out of time in this area. We are needing to move on to our next adventure in Salvadorado because it is quickly, summer is passing us by. She is just taking a quick pregnancy test here. They did have a little bit of a romp in the tent, and she's wanting to know if she's pregnant, but it looks like she is not pregnant. Maybe next time. So unfortunately, she is once again sad because she has failed to conceive. Piper is really struggling with getting pregnant. Unfortunately, her and Roman are having a really, really hard time. He keeps telling her, you know, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. Don't worry about these things. You know, it's going to happen one of these days. It's just not the right time. Obviously, we're not supposed to have a baby right now while we're traveling. Traveling and being on the road in a tent is no place for a baby anyway. And maybe it's not supposed to happen until we're settled down and we have a home. And she's like, yeah, well, when is that going to be? Because I'm ready for that to take place now. And he's like, well, so am I, but we're still in the midst of traveling. Like, we live in a tent in Granite Falls right now. This is no place for a baby. And even though she knows he's right, she's just so ready for their life to begin, and she can't stand the fact that she is stuck out here in this adventure. So she's ready, and it's just really frustrating for her. She's really ready to see those 2 lines on that pregnancy test come across telling her she's pregnant, and unfortunately she's just not getting the results that she's wanting. So she is very sad about that. Piper is gonna go ahead and head back out to the fire here, and just warm herself up and do a little bit of throwing the logs on the fire to get it going a little bit. But I am going to go ahead and just get her reading a little bit more of her herbalism book here while she sits by this fire. We want to go ahead and get that skill up as much as we can so that we can move on in our journey here. I'm going to sell the things in her inventory that she doesn't need for the extra funds, because unfortunately we are going to need to extend our vacation a little bit as well, because we are quickly running out of time, and that is going to have to be extended again. Piper's like, not again. Yeah, again. Unfortunately, you are not finishing this as quickly as I had hoped, and the vacation is going to have to be extended. So unfortunately, that is what it is. Once she finally identifies these extra plants here, we will be able to go ahead and get her moved on into the last leg of this journey, of this aspiration here, so that she can complete this and we can get the hell out of Dodge. But until then, we are just waiting. But when we send her back over to her house in the lodging area where Roman is, then she can pick the plants in that area, and we will see what's next on the agenda. She's decided that she wants to go for a little bit of a hike to get in some exercise. So she's just quickly going to go for a quick hike here and just get some of her energy out. She is needing some exercise. She hasn't gone for a jog in a while, and so she's just thinking to herself, you know, it's really nice. I can take in some of the outdoors. The fresh air is lovely and invigorating, and I just want to get a little bit of blood flowing through my veins here. And so she is just going out and enjoying the day. That being said, it is starting to become evening, and so she doesn't want to be out hiking in this deep dark woods too late in the evening by herself, because obviously there are critters and Lord knows what in the deep woods. So she is going to go ahead and head herself back. Piper has been thinking to herself, you know, considering the fact that she is having trouble getting pregnant and she is going through what she can only consider is a bit of a midlife crisis, that maybe she needs to go through a little bit of a change. And so she's going to go ahead and head herself in to the hermit's house, and she's going to change up her appearance a little bit. We're going to give her a little bit of a makeover, so she's going to head back to the hermit's house and use his mirror to change up her appearance a little bit. So she is just going to head back to his lodging there and go ahead and change her appearance up a little bit. She's feeling a little bit peckish too, so I think she's going to need to, at some point, go ahead and cook something to eat and get herself some food. So Piper is just fixing herself a little bit of food here. She is feeling quite hungry, so she is going to cook herself up something to eat really quick and have a bite. And then once she has finished eating, she's going to go ahead and head on into the bathroom there and do a little bit of a makeover on herself and give herself a new look. She thinks that maybe if she freshens herself up a bit, she will feel better about herself, and the fact that she is continually feeling down on herself for the fact that she is unable to conceive right now. And maybe she just needs a new look, a new outlook on life and things like that. So she is just pondering, maybe I just need a change. Maybe I just need a new look for myself, a new hairstyle. And so she is just going to go ahead and give herself a new look. So she's just going to go on in, and we are going to change her up a little bit. So I have been thinking about taking Piper into a direction of Maxis Match and Maxis Mix, I guess I should say. And so we are just going to give her a little bit of a change in that direction. So let's head her on into the house and give her a bit of a change. So Piper is off to the bathroom to get a change, and we are now in the Create a Sim, and I am just going to let you guys watch the process of us giving her a bit of a makeover here. I went through several hairs until I decided on the one I wanted to give her, and I hope that you enjoy and that you like what I finally decided on for her, and then we will get back to the gameplay.
But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. She's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space.
Now that Piper has herself a bit of a makeover, she is feeling so much better about herself. She is decided that she wants to get a little bit more reading of her herbalism in. And so she's going to sit down and have herself a quick read here. She's feeling really inspired now that she is all dressed up and ready to go with her new hair and feeling so fresh. And she is just really feeling good about herself. And she is just loving this new look. She is loving the fact that she is feeling fresh and young and vibrant. And the fact that she is not with child is no longer really so much of an issue. She knows that maybe Roman is right. Maybe it isn't the right time right now. And as soon as they get settled, that things will happen like they're supposed to. So she's trying to be positive. She's trying to remember that things happen for a reason. And so she is really feeling upbeat right now. And she knows that a new hairstyle isn't obviously the end all be all and it turns everything around, but it really has helped improve her mood. And the fact that she is gaining a lot of knowledge from this herbalism book is really helping her to improve her mood as well, because she knows that she is really doing great things as far as this whole aspiration, and she knows that she's getting closer to what she needs to do for her goals here. And so she is super excited to get back to Roman at the lodge so that she can let him know that she's making great progress and that they're not going to have to be here for very much longer, and that she's hopefully going to be completing this aspiration sooner rather than later. So as soon as she's able to get this herbalism skill maxed out and finish up this last little leg of this journey, they're going to be able to move on to Dorado. And of course, that is going to come with its all new adventure and I'm sure drama and things that she's going to have to deal with. And she's like, I don't even want to think about that right now. But she knows that at least it will get them out of this forest. Of course, it's going to take them to a jungle, but one thing at a time, one drama-filled adventure at a time. So it is about 1:58 in the morning, and Piper has just recently woken from being asleep. She is going to come out and check on the plants, do a little bit of throwing some fire onto the fire pit, and no, I lied. She's going to go to the bathroom. But she is going to take a look at these plants. It doesn't look like they are doing any activity, so she is thinking to herself, I don't think these plants are going to do what I need them to do, so I might as well just go ahead and head on back to the lodge, because these plants are taking forever to do anything, and I've really gone ahead and done everything that I need to do in this area, and there's no sense, Roman's right, there's no sense in us wasting time waiting on these plants to just go ahead and grow. Like, we can't just sit here and watch them and watch them and watch them. It's not going to make them grow any faster. And maybe he's right. Maybe I'm just wasting my time sitting here waiting on them to grow. I'll just leave and go back to my, lodging, and obviously it will happen when it happens, and then we can come back in a few days' time and I can check on them. So she is going to go ahead and head back over to the lodging area. She's going to put this fire out, and she's going to head on back so that we can let her check on Roman and be with Roman. She is just cloud gazing in the rain. I mean, really? Piper, what are you like? She's like, I'm a little erratic. It's fine. But we're going to let her go ahead and head back. So she's made it back to the lodging, and she's going to go ahead and get a little bit of rest here in the tent. Roman is just taking care of a bit of his needs. He's in pretty bad shape. He's not, he needs to go to the washroom, get himself something to eat. He is also pretty tired. We're going to go ahead and deal with his needs. He's going to get some rest first because that is his most pressing matter. And everyone's going to deal with themselves. I'll check back with you guys in the morning, and then he can deal with getting himself some bladder and hunger needs up. So it is about 7:30 in the morning. Roman is desperate for a wee. We're going to go ahead and let him get some food going, and then he can go use the washroom. Piper is still in bed asleep. But when she gets up, we're going to go ahead and let her just deal with gathering some plants in the area. There are some things that need to be harvested. And she can go ahead and collect some insects, because I do think there are some insects that are crawling around that she can collect. So we will go ahead and let her collect those. And that will be good for her collection. But we definitely want to collect all of the fruits and flowers in the area that are currently ready to be harvested. That way she can have those for her remedies that she needs to brew. And obviously for us to be able to harvest anything that needs to be identified, for her to identify all plants in the area. So she is just going to harvest everything that she can.
Forward Kobe.
So as she runs around harvesting everything, Piper is feeling super inspired and knows that she is getting a lot closer to the prize of getting this completed. She is feeling like the end is definitely near. She knows that she is going to be able to get through this. It has taken her a very long time, and she didn't think it was going to take her this long. She actually thought she would be done with this a lot sooner than she is, but she knows that she is pressing on towards the end here, and she's feeling really good about it. She knows that she's going to be able to tell Roman soon that they're going to be able to leave this area, which is great news because he is seriously tense. He is sick of the bugs, he's sick of the rain, he's sick of pretty much everything to deal with these woods. And she kind of goes through lulls of feeling that way herself, where she kind of gets homesick and then she's okay, and then she gets homesick and then she's okay. But he is getting to the point where it's almost an everyday thing, where he is constantly feeling like he is over this place. And it's getting to a point where he's feeling almost as badly about this area as he did about Strangerville. Strangerville was bad for him because he was constantly alone there and he didn't get to see Piper a whole lot. And even though he spends a whole lot of time with Piper here in Granite Falls, it's just that this place is kind of wearing him down. And there's only so much you can do. There's only so much that you can handle living in a tent. At least in, some of the other places that they've lived, they've actually had 4 walls and they've had like a home. Here, they're living out of a tent, and it's really wearing him down. And she knows that this is driving him crazy, and she understands that. They just really, really need to get out of Granite Falls and into some type of security, some type of semblance of normal and stable life. And she is wanting to provide that for him. He's wanting to be able to provide that for her. They're wanting a life together. And so she wants to be able to tell him, look, I'm getting close. We are really getting close to being able to leave this place. And she is excited and inspired to know that she is really getting to that area of time that she's going to be able to tell him that. And so she loves the fact that that time frame is getting closer and closer. And the more she finds plant-wise and the more she harvests, the more that, she knows that she's actually going to be able to do that. And she's finding all of these plants that she hasn't been able to find before, like this one here. And she's going to harvest it, and then she'll be able to identify it. And she hasn't identified this before. And she's like, oh, this is a new looking plant. I've never seen this plant before. I think this is something new that I've not ever seen before, which means I'm going to be able to identify it, hopefully. And if I can identify it, that's one more thing off of my plate that I am going to be able to say, okay, what is this? And then I will know what this is. And that's one more thing that puts me closer to us getting out of here. So these things are things that inspire Piper to know that she's that much closer to getting out of here. It helps that she loves the outdoors, and it helps that she has all of these traits that make it okay. She likes to be adventurous. She likes to be outdoors. She's a person that likes being energized and likes to exercise, and those qualities help her get in an okay mood being in these circumstances, whereas Roman maybe not so much. He's not as adventurous as her. He doesn't mind being outdoors, but he doesn't like being uncomfortably wet. And she doesn't necessarily mind it so much. She can deal with it a little bit longer than he can. These things bother him a lot more than they bother her. So we're going to go ahead and get her to identify some of the things that she's just recently picked. And hopefully she will knock a couple more things off of her things that she needs to identify there. And that will help us meet those goals. And it makes us reach Herbalism level 7. which is great news. And of course, she's decided to cloud gaze in the rain again. I mean, Piper, I don't understand what you're like at all. I really don't. But that's perfectly fine. She now knows what noxious elderberry is. That's one more thing that we have identified. And obviously, we don't want her eating a lot of those. They will make her really sick. But she now knows what that is. And I don't think there's anything else in the area for her to harvest. I think she has picked everything in the area. So that is pretty much it for her to harvest out here. So now we just really need to wait for the hermit's house stuff to grow. And in the meantime, we will just collect some insects and let her spend a little bit of time with Roman, telling him that she has, made a lot of progress. She has identified things that she hadn't known what they were before. She has brewed those remedies that she needed to brew. She's made a dent in this aspiration and these goals. Really quite a bit of progress today than she kind of thought that she was going to make. And she is a lot closer than she was the day before. The vacation is ending in 1 day. We need to extend. Yeah, okay. I was afraid of that. So we are going to need to extend the vacation. And so I will do that really quickly so that we can make sure we don't run out of time. So let's go ahead and extend the vacation. I am going to go ahead and extend the vacation for probably 5 days time, I guess. Just because I don't know how much longer it's going to take for her to complete the last leg of the journey, which is that last portion of the aspiration on step 4 of it. But I would assume that it's going to take her at least 5 days. Make sure that we have plenty of time in order for us to meet that last portion of the aspiration. And the last portion of the aspiration says we need to achieve level 10 herbalism skill, sleep for 5 nights in a tent, and collect 15 insects. So we are on the last portion of the outdoor enthusiast section. I think it's going to take probably 5 days of us to do that. I'm really hoping that we don't go over the 5 days that we've booked, because I don't want us to go any further into summer, because then we're going to run out of time for Selva Dorado's adventure, and I don't want us to fail on the mission. So, as you can see, Piper is running through the campground here with her arms spread out. She is loving life, loving the rain, having a grand old time, feeling super great. She is going to go and tell Roman that she has made super progress, that she is on the last leg of the journey here, that she is doing super things, that she has leveled herself up here, and that she is getting them really close to getting out of here. She thinks that is going to make him feel so happy. She knows that she's happy about it. She's feeling really inspired. She knows that all she has to do is collect all these insects, and she's like, I can totally do that. I can run around and collect insects. How hard is it to collect some bugs? Not hard at all. There are bugs everywhere. So she knows that she can run around and collect some bugs. She's going to do that now, is run around and collect bugs from everywhere. She had already collected a ton of bugs, but it didn't count for anything, which really sucks because we had collected so many insects, but none of them counted. Even though I had kept all of them, none of the insects that she has already collected counted. So we have to start from scratch and collect a bunch of bugs. So we're going to collect a bunch of insects now for Piper, and she has to collect 15 insects. So we're going to go ahead and get her collecting some insects now. And then she is going to go ahead and she has to reach level 10 of her herbalism. She is currently collecting at level 7 of herbalism, so she does need to get a little bit more of her herbalism skill up, and she needs to sleep for 5 nights in a tent. That shouldn't be hard. They sleep every night in a tent. So hopefully that will be easy to obtain, and then we'll be able to get out of here really soon. If we're staying 5 more nights here and she sleeps every night in the tent, then we should be able to do that pretty easily. So we should be able to do this without problem. Obviously, she can still go ahead and collect the plants in the area. We will be able to sell those for money because we do want to make some funds back. She only has 1,000 simoleons now because we did just extend the vacation, so we did take a big chunk of our money away. Of course, we do have all of the things in our inventory that we can sell. I was saving them thinking that it would make a dent in maybe some of our aspiration things, which it didn't. But yeah, we'll be able to sell all of that stuff and have a killing whenever we finally do sell that stuff. So that's great news. But in the meantime, we are just going to go ahead and get Piper collecting some bugs here so that she can obviously meet these aspirations here. She has 8 out of the 15 insects that she needs. And then we will go ahead and let her get a little bit of rest once it is time for her to get a little bit of sleep, because it is getting a little bit late and she will need to get some rest in the tent for the night so that we can knock off that first night of sleeping in a tent and get credit for that. But like I said, I do want her moving over here and just talking to Roman and letting him know that we are getting so much closer to moving ourselves out of Granite Falls and onto Dorado so that we can move on to our next adventure, and getting so much closer to finishing up this full adventure with Piper and Roman and finishing Globetrotter as a whole, which is great news. We have been doing this for quite some time now, and Piper and Roman have been on this journey together since the very beginning, really. He met her when she was in Mount Carmody in the very beginning. So he has been on quite the adventure with her. They have been together for quite some time, and they are very much in love and have gone through so many adventures together. And it is really sweet that he has been toughing it out with her through all of these crazy adventures, putting up with all of her crazy things that she likes to do. But it is definitely something that he is kind of getting sick of in this forest. This forest is a little bit driving him crazy. So it will be a good thing to see him not have to deal with this forest anymore when they finally move on to bigger and better things in the jungle. So where is Roman anyway? There he is. All right. So finish doing what you're doing there, Piper, and go over here and talk to Roman and just tell him, like, honey, I'm doing awesome things, and I am getting us out of here as soon as I can. She's going to go ahead and go over to the tent. That's where he is, in the tent. And she's going to climb in there and she's going to have a conversation with him. And she's just going to tell him, you're never going to believe it, but we are going to be out of here before you know it. We really are. So she is getting a little bit of rest now, which is great. Hopefully that will count as sleeping in the tent for the night. It's not, probably, because she's probably not going to sleep all the way through the night, considering she was not fully tired. Yeah, that didn't count. I was afraid of that. I don't know what we're going to do to make that count. I'm probably going to have to make her sleep more. And I don't know how I'm going to do that with her fully rested now. Well, that's unfortunate. She is going to go ahead and cook herself something because she is hungry. And she needs to clearly get herself something to eat. She's like, I'm starving. We'll put her back to bed, and of course that's not going to work. She needs to resume these shish kebabs because she's starving to death. So come let her eat here, and then we will let her get back to bed after that. And she has 14 out of the 15 insects that she needs. She refuses to sleep because she does not need to sleep, because she's not tired, but I'm going to make her go back to sleep. And hopefully it will allow her to sleep for the night and it will mark that off, but I don't think it's going to. And if it doesn't, then we will try again tomorrow night, and I'll just have to make sure she's tired and gets some sleep for the night. Let's get Roman over here so he can have some of the food that she cooked, because he is feeling pretty hungry. And once she gets up, they're going to go ahead and have a little bit of a talk. And they're going to bond over the fact that they're going to be getting out of here soon. He's going to be so thrilled with that news. So she is just trying to get herself a little bit of rest. It does not seem to be counting that she is sleeping through the night here. Unfortunately, it is not giving her credit for that on the aspiration list here. I was really concerned with the fact that that wasn't going to work, and it doesn't seem to be actually giving her credit for that. So we will have to try again tomorrow for that. We'll get her reading a little bit of her herbalism book. Why is there a bear that just went into our tent? Who are you? Get out. Yeah, that didn't count. Okay, so we'll have to try again tomorrow night, or tonight, I guess I should say, and see if that will work. But let's go ahead. We're going to get her to read a little bit, and let's get her to talk to Roman. But guys, I am going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.